economic region into a more open and mutually beneficial way. Third, we will take concerted efforts to improve the economy in the Asia-Pacific region. In the first CIIE, there were over 2,000 economies from APEC regions attended this event. The intended transaction amount has taken half of the transaction volume of the CIIE. We encourage all the APEC economies to attend the second CIIE and to share its achievements with other countries and improve the economic development in the APEC region. The purpose is to promote an open economy in the APEC region. As for your second question, currently the two delegation teams are having a close contact and to build consensus. Thank you. China Business Network. As the APEC Leaders Summit has failed to deliver, the leaders communicate. Some people are saying that this is because the disagreement between China and US. So what's MOFCOM's response to this situation? What is the biggest differences between the two countries and other solutions? Thank you for your question. My colleague from Ministry of Foreign Affairs have made detailed explanation. I would like to reiterate that with the concerted effort from the host PNG and other countries, the APEC meeting is a successful meeting. There were many remarkable results has been delivered from the APEC meeting. China would like to continue the consultation with other countries. Unfortunately, some countries put their own interests first and impose their willingness to other countries, which receive opposition from the developing countries. China firmly believes that it is very important for all the member states to strive for a mutually beneficial cooperation and take pragmatic cooperation so as to seek for common prosperity in the APEC region. Thank you. This is from Economic Daily. As we have seen a 53 pages report that have been issued from Lighthizer's office. The report has accusing China of IPR theft, and they are claiming that China has continued to take inappropriate actions. So what's MOFCOM's take on that? Thank you for your question. We have noted relevant reports that were issued by the United States. China has been closely followed about the report. China has made it very clear that for the 301 investigation taken by the United States, it is a demonstration of protectionism and unilateralism. They are actually putting the US law on top of the international rules. This works against their commitment to the international community. In the report, the US side has made some updates and made groundless accusations towards China. China cannot accept the report and the accusation. We hope the US stop making actions to damage the relations between China and the US and help to create favorable conditions to improve the global economy. Thank you. This is from Global Times. On November the 19th, the US BIS has released a technology document which may restrict the import of the technology from China. What are the measures that will be taken by the Chinese side? Thank you for your question. China has been well aware of the export restriction document that was issued by the US. Now we are evaluating on this document. We believe that national security should be based on openness. Setting up barriers will not be contributed to the national security and is also detrimental for the trade development. We hope the US take constructive development to change the environment for their trade and narrow the trade deficit with their own efforts. China will stay close look on the legislation of the US and will take necessary measures to safeguard the interest of China. Thank you. The president of Canada that the NAFTA will not set barriers for the cooperation between Canada and China. So what is the latest development for the trade negotiation between Canada and China? We have noted relevant reports. Each economy has the autonomy to develop economic relations with other countries. China and Canada are two important economies in the Asia-Pacific region. It is very important to build a community for the two countries as to closer the ties for the two countries and strive for mutually beneficial cooperation. It will help to improve the momentum for the relations between the two countries. Our two countries will stay committed in safeguarding the free trade. We have held 4 rounds of negotiation with Canada and exchanged views on the FTA and also build consensus on this issue, which have also laid down a solid foundation to further our relations. We would like to take concerted efforts to build the China-Canada FTA. Thank you. This is from China Business Network. Earlier, the Minister of MOFCOM has met his counterpart of Peru, and they have signed an MOU on setting up the FTA. So are there any specific schedule for that? This is an important consensus that have been made by the leaders of both sides. Earlier, China has set out the range for the negotiation for the range of FTA. For example, we have laid out the detailed procedures for the procedures and the processes that we have to take in the free trade area and the e-commerce as well as the competitive industries. Both sides believe that in upgrading the FTA between China and Peru will bring benefits to the two countries. This will also help to strengthen the economic tie between China and Peru. All of this will help to build an open world economy. Both sides would like to accelerate the negotiation. Hopefully, this negotiation can be concluded at the earliest schedule. Thank you. From Russian TASS. It is important that for the food import and export between China and Russia, what are the measures that will be taken by China? Thank you for your question. Start from this year, we see a rapid development for the trade volume between China and Russia. From January to October, the bilateral trade volume has reached $87.2 billion, which has a 28% year-over-year growth. As you talk about the trade in food, I think you're referring to the agricultural products. We consider agricultural products as the highlight of the importation from Russia. We have to wait for a few days for the figures from January to October. So for the food importation, the trade volume has been increased by 29% year-over-year from January to September. China would like to work with Russia and deepen our cooperation in agriculture and the food industry. Hopefully, by doing this, we can improve the trade facilitation in this regard. We will encourage relevant companies to attend exhibitions and trade fairs to improve the cooperation. We would like to better leverage our advantages to get more imports from Russia. Hopefully, more and more Chinese consumers will like Russian imports. Thank you. CMG from CNR. This year is the 5-year anniversary of the FTA pilot zones. So as we have learned a lot of experience in the past 5 years, so what's your comment on the development for the FTA pilot zone in China, and what are the expectations in the upcoming future? Thank you. So setting up the FTA pilot zone is an important task that has been put forth by the CPC Central Committee. In the past 5 years, these pilot zones have made tremendous contribution. We have keep upgrading the infrastructure for the FTA pilot zones. For example, they have helped to shifting the functionality of the government and improve the economy in the regional aspect. And all of this experience have been learned from other areas to promote their pilot zones. This will help to further the reform and opening up in China. Going forward, we will build a highland for the FTA pilot zone for the new era. And we will focus on innovation for the pilot zones. And will explore a build-out of the pilot zone ports and streamline the negative list for foreign investments. And also, we will help to improve the level for the trade facilitation and strengthen the protection of the IPR. Hopefully, we can get more valuable experience in the FTA pilot zone and open a new chapter for the open economy. Now it's time for the last question.
10月21日，国务院常会议决定延续和完善跨境电商零售的进口政策，可否介绍一下这个有关情况和主要内容？
On November the 21st, there has been an upgrade of the cross-border e-commerce transaction. Can you give us more information about that? For the cross-border e-commerce, we have implemented supervision on the cross-border e-commerce transaction. This will help to improve the industrial development in this area. From January to September, we have received a 56.9% increase of the cross-border e-commerce. Some of the companies expressed their willingness to receive detailed list for the duty for e-commerce regulation. MOFCOM will work with relevant departments to learn from the past experience and draft a transitioning plan. And this plan was initially passed by the State Council. We will continue to strengthen the current supervision for the cross-border e-commerce transaction. We will divide the products into different categories according to the importation. This will help to ensure the security for the importation process. On the other hand, we will also specify the regulation for the cross-border e-commerce and further enhance the security for the e-commerce platform. This will help to strengthen the supervision and risk protection for the cross-border e-commerce products and secure a level playing field and protect the rights of the consumers. This will also help to further develop the cross-border e-commerce in the future. We have also extended the scope for the supervision plan up to 22 cities in China. Start from 2009, all the direct purchase items can refer to this supervision plan for better management of the e-commerce importation process. After the release of the plan, we will closely follow the implementation of the plan and make relevant revisions on the supervision plan. We hope the industry can learn from this supervision plan and conduct self-check in order to secure the consumers' rights. Hopefully, we can strive for a better development for the cross-border e-commerce development. That's the end of the press conference. Thank you.